Hi, welcome back to the channel. There's a seat here at the table. Pull up a chair. Let's talk about goals. You know, it's interesting when you put the word goals on a piece of paper. It's typically related to something like work, or maybe it's something that you've got a personal aim for. In life, it's fascinating to watch the goalposts move, isn't it? You may be aiming for one goal, and as soon as that one looks achievable, you set the next one. Maybe you're that type of person, or maybe life's just kind of washing you along, and goals are something that other people do. For you, you're just on track with what life's giving you. What I want to share today is in our journey, goals were a big part of it. No, they weren't the thing that we lived by. No, they weren't something that we set and then were cast in stone and we were going to move that direction. But they were meaningful things that helped us get to a certain place at a certain time. And they did move us forward. And I want to give you a couple quick examples of that today. If I look back at age 38, maybe, coming up on age 40, I started getting this desire, this drive to pay down the mortgage on our house. It's quite the goal, isn't it? But I set a goal of 5 years. Not only did I set the goal, we refinanced our mortgage at the time to an adjustable rate, and it was set to 5 years. That is taking a goal seriously, because if we didn't do that, who knew what interest rates were going to be 5 years later? Well, we accomplished that goal in just 3 years. Now, how does that happen? I mean, I should have planned ahead, right, toward that goal. The reality is, when you set a goal and you get on track toward it, you find ways to get that goal done faster. And one of the ways that I was inspired to get goals done was to create a visual. I looked at year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I mapped it out. And I actually just used a simple spreadsheet to create a chart. Now on that chart, I said, what happens in a best case scenario? Maybe we can pay it off in 3 years. Or what happens if we fail? Can we get it done in 7 years? I mean, we'd been carrying a mortgage since 15 years prior. Getting that done became a goal, but it was something you can't make a lot of progress on, right? You get paid every couple of weeks. You pay the mortgage monthly. How do you get ahead? Well, what we started to do, we took that data and that chart with the 3, 5, and 7 years, and we stuck it on the back of a door. Now, at the same time, there was a capital campaign running, and so we were part of that as well and agreed to a couple years of giving to help them out. We set a goal for that as well and put that right underneath. So it wasn't just about us, it was about us achieving multiple goals in a set of time, and it was not an easy time to do that. If I look back on that, that was coming out of the great financial crisis. It wasn't a good time to be setting big financial goals, but we did it anyway. And as we mapped month to month how we were doing against the goal, would you believe that we even beat the 3-year goal that we had on that sheet in paying off our mortgage, and we exceeded our giving goal? It was fantastic to achieve those goals. Years later, as I would be looking at the future, I set up a goal called Project 2028. And in that, I kind of looked at, well, where are we in life? Where do we want to be by 2028? Now, I started that project in 2020. I gave myself an 8-year runway. And I said, by then, we would like to have a certain amount of cash flow. We would like to have a certain number of assets. It was an aggressive goal. Once again, we beat that. We beat that goal in 2024. That is the kind of power that you get from goals. That's the kind of thing that really helps you look forward and say, wow, I have done something pretty amazing here. Look at what we've done. And there's an important thing here with goals. Number one, if you miss your goals, so be it. You set a goal, you didn't attain it. It doesn't mean anything bad. It literally just means you missed your goal. It's okay. Second thing is just accountability. On our own, it's very easy for us to look at a goal and either be infatuated by it and give everything toward it, or to just kind of drift from it for the lack of accountability. So in our case, I shared this goal with my wife, and I did so on a regular basis, and we worked together toward the big goals, especially Project 2028. It was amazing to watch that come together. By the way, it's really fun to see Project 2028 become Project 2024. When you can change the name on there, that's just fun. If we look forward and we think about goal setting today, can we still do it? The answer is absolutely. Absolutely. You have to determine the trajectory of your life, or someone else will determine it for you. Everyone wants something from you. If you haven't experienced that yet, you will. And the direction of your life and the direction of your goals have to be your own. So what do you want out of life? I'm still trying to learn to play the guitar over here. It's one of my goals. I'm still trying to bring myself to mastering the smoker. And I'm interested in trying to understand the delicacy of making macarons. These are goals. Small goals, but goals nonetheless. Because, let's face it, you have to dedicate time and energy, money, and anything else that's required to meet a goal. And so today I want to encourage you, if you haven't set goals for a while, or if you set them a while back and haven't revisited them, if you don't know if you've achieved your goals, fire it back up. Write it down. Make it visual. Put it someplace where you can see it and work toward it. It's one of the things that's given us the most progress measurement in our life. We determined that this was the trajectory we wanted to go, and did we get there from here? Now life throws us curveballs. There's health crises, there's marital crises, there's family crises, there's career crises. Everything that can go wrong might go wrong, and that can throw your goals into a mess. But can I be encouraging for just a moment? During my trajectory, I have been sidelined by health. In fact, most recently, that's what happened. I have been sidelined by job loss. I have actually worked myself into the hospital at age 30 because of job loss and working as many side jobs as I could find. These kind of things can and will happen, but the goals are important nonetheless. So can I encourage you today? Set a big goal. Something that feels out of reach, maybe something somewhat ridiculous, and figure out how you would track progress toward those goals. Setting just one can be enough. Project 2028 for us, we had a few categories of what made Project 2028 successful. Things like having a certain amount in our 401k contributions, having a couple of rental properties worth a certain amount paid down to a certain amount, having our mortgage paid for, and having our kids' college tuition funded in some way, at least our part of the contributions. Those were big goals under a singular umbrella, but we worked toward a single number and towards a single cash flow and a single situation. And at the end of the day, we were able to achieve that. And I want to encourage you, set that goal and start working toward it. It will be beneficial. Until next time, set a goal. We'll talk again soon.